the next generation of physicians and scientists. We're losing out on our ability to lead the world in scientific and medical advances. And they're eliminating funding to train the next generation of educators too. So this is the bleak Trump-Musk future. No teachers, no doctors, an economic crash. And it's not just the stock market. The funding cuts are devastating working people in this country. Researchers in the labs, nurses in the hospitals, educators in the classrooms, custodians who keep medical centers running. Trump and Musk are disemploying thousands because they've decided that their profits matter more than our lives. Boo! Boo! This is a tragedy and this is an outrage. So we're here today because we're not standing by and letting them get away with it. We are standing up today across our country to demand that Congress and the courts kill the cuts, to kill the illegal, immoral, unconscionable federal research cuts. So we're standing up for our health care. We're standing up for our jobs. We're standing up for the research and education that higher ed workers do each and every day. And we're not backing down. So say it with me. Kill the cuts! Again, kill the cuts! Again, kill the cuts! One more time. Kill the cuts! We will fight for as long as it takes, because when we fight, we win.
All right, next up, we're going to hear from speakers from universities across the DMV region. We've got people here from the University of Maryland, from Johns Hopkins University, from George Washington University, and we've also got people here from American University, Howard University, Georgetown University, as well as not a university, but, you know, the National Institutes of Health Intramural Research Program. All right, next up, we've got Dr. Nina Randazzo here with the AAUP chapter from the University of Maryland.
Hi, I'm an environmental scientist at the University of Maryland. I'm here supported by the United Academics of Maryland and AAUP. I am funded by NASA, and I am part of a NASA research group, as are many of my university Already, NASA has closed the Office of Chief Scientist, which was led by a climate scientist. It has closed offices associated with equity, diversity, and scientific strategy. Many of my colleagues are also funded by NOAA, which has already been targeted with major politically motivated cuts and is facing surveillance of its climate research. My collaborators and I do research to improve our monitoring of greenhouse gas emissions and to figure out poorly understood greenhouse gas sources, such as methane emissions from natural gas infrastructure. Some other of my colleagues track emissions of particulates and chemicals that directly harm human health. They work to improve predictions of dangerous weather events and understand how the frequency and severity of these events are changing with the climate. Now, this presidential administration is rolling back environmental regulations, illegally withholding funds for clean energy infrastructure and climate adaptation projects, and prioritizing the fossil fuel industry. And by interfering with our research, they are intentionally keeping our country in the dark about the environmental destruction that they are causing. They don't want people like my colleagues or myself tracking pollution or environmental impacts, because they are worsening the climate crisis and pollution, which are issues that predominantly affect the most vulnerable members of our society and people around the world, and they want to get away with it. please call on your representatives to use the legislative process to protect our funding. And also, if you are a researcher or educator who is eligible for union membership, please do join. Unions are taking legal action right now against funding cuts and against attacks on our rights, and fighting for workplace protections so that we can continue with our research. Our work, I believe, is just so vital to move towards a healthy planet and a healthy society and healthy people. And I'm so happy that we're here to fight to protect it. Thank you so much.
Next up, we have another AAUP chapter president. Juliana Perret is an associate professor as well as the president of the Johns Hopkins AAUP chapter. But not only that, she is also a board member for the Novo Collegian Alliance and a board member for the Scholars for a New Deal in Higher Education.
I like hope a lot more than I like fear. I'm Juliana Perret. I'm president of the Johns Hopkins AAUP chapter, and I'm a proud alum of the New College of Florida. With his cruel cuts, Donald Trump has declared a war on the freedom to conduct research, to teach, to learn in independent institutions. It can be hard knowing what comes next in this chaos. But I know what to do in a space of uncertainty. I've seen this playbook before. In 2023, Ronald DeSantis declared war on my alma mater, the New College of Florida. Shame! He hoped that through shock and awe, we would be frozen with uncertainty. Here's a secret: uncertainty is just empty space. I choose to fill that space with hope, and I get my hope from action. Let me tell you how. Ron's goal is to make sure no one in Florida questions his authority. We decided we would not let him be king. Along with my fellow alumni and others, I'm filling the uncertainty that Ronald caused with hope. These are actions we're taking. These are actions you can take. Number one,